Today I'm going to be talking about several of the signal transduction pathways that occur in cells. There are several different important signal transduction pathways in cells. One such pathway is the G protein pathway. This is the most common pathway used by cells. It uses the G protein linked receptor, which is located in the membrane. This receptor serves as the attachment point for the ligand. The ligand is the first messenger. It is the actual signal molecule that binds to a receptor protein. The receptor will change shape upon the attachment of the proper ligand, and this shape change is what makes phosphorylation possible. The receptor protein is attached to the G protein, and its shape change activates the G protein to go to whatever enzyme or protein the ligand says and phosphorylate it. Another pathway is the tyrosine kinase pathway. This pathway is used in growth and emergency repair because it can act like a catalyst for rapidly activating multiple relay proteins at a time. The ligand binds, and several relay proteins are rapidly activated because in emergency repair you need several processes going at once. There are also ion channel receptors. These are also called ligand-gated ion channels. The gate is opened when the ligand attaches to the receptor protein. Once the gate is open, the ions enter the cell through the channel and go into the cytoplasm. There are also pathways that do not have receptor proteins in the membrane. One such is called intracellular receptors. These are mostly for receiving hormones and steroids. Because these are lipids, they don't need receptor proteins. They are small and nonpolar, so they simply diffuse across the phospholipid bilayer. They can serve as transcription factors, which usually start the making of mRNA in the nucleus. But going back to pathways with receptor proteins, the ligand is the first messenger, but once inside the cell, the message is carried on by secondary messengers. One such secondary messenger is cAMP. How cAMP is formed is the ligand attaches to the receptor, it changes shape. This activates the G protein to go to the enzyme, and the enzyme sometimes has a job of phosphorylating ATP. Two phosphate groups are removed, and you're left with AMP, adenosine monophosphate. The cyclic aspect of it has earned it the name cAMP. Another secondary messenger often involved with the processes of cells is calmodulin and IP3. These are mainly involved in helping to create and control muscle contraction. The ligand, which is the first messenger for a muscle contraction, comes to the cell. The receptor, of course, changes shape, and the G protein travels to the previously inactive PIP2. The G protein will break a bond in the PIP2 to convert it to its active state, which is called IP3. The IP3 will travel to the endoplasmic reticulum of the muscle cell, bind with a receptor protein on the ER, change its shape, and thereby allow the great storage of calcium ions in it to enter the cytoplasm as calmodulin. This calmodulin, acting as a secondary messenger, will go and initiate a muscle contraction. And that is the several important signal transduction pathways in cells.